Welcome to the Crap Vegas podcast.
Vegas, here we come.
Vegas!
Here are your hosts, Chris and Josh.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final region, the Rusty region of the 2024 Vegas Property Bracket Challenge. I am joined today by Josh, and of course, our special guest this week is Vegas low-rolling expert, hat connoisseur, just general good guy, Adam Bauer. Adam, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I think a lot of people are going to argue with you on the last one, at least. Hats, yes, but good guy is debatable at this point.
It's definitely debatable.
Does Vegas Starfish listen to our episodes, or?
Well, I guess we'll find out. You're going to get your first
if she does, then I agree. Yeah. I agree. We might have problems then.
Chris, I'm already thinking that we're going to have to start the recording over because you said the Vegas Property Bracket Challenge. It's the crap Vegas Property Bracket Challenge. That's where CVPVC comes from.
Okay, A, we've talked no more acronyms, and B, I think people know who we are at this point. I don't think we have to throw our name into everything.
I'm going to splice it in.
I started, Josh, the other day I was changing the signature on my email at work because we did some tweaks to our logo. And I really thought about changing my signature to say that I was the CVCPA, just to put that in there. And I was and then I was like, nobody will know what that means. And then they'll ask and it will generate interest in the show.
I'm a CVJD, so.
Oh, that's right. We've had many discussions about you being a doctor.
That's right.
Adam, what are your thoughts? Are lawyers doctors?
Without a doubt. Absolutely.
Thank you.
100%.
Thank you.
God,
More than Dennis, right? More than Dr. Mike. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. No disrespect to him, but yeah. And even neurosurgeons, I would say. It's
Thank you.
Lawyers, MBAs, which is what I have. And then, actual doctors are, they're like the 9 seed.
What about PhDs? Where's
that's
God, no.
That's way
they're like a 1.
Yeah, that's
we've talked about that too
on here. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So we're all here. We don't need to go through the rules for a 4th time in this first round, but you got 5 votes here. You got the patrons, you got the public, you got Josh, me, and Adam. Whoever gets 3 or more is going to move on to the next round. So with no further ado, let's get this thing going. Josh, first matchup of the day, we have number 1 win against number 16 seed Green Valley Ranch, which I already am taking umbrage with the seeding here. It didn't take long.
Grand Victoria, Racino, and Gary.
That's right.
Surely it's not the one in Henderson.
You wouldn't think so. But the number 1 seed Wynn opened in 2005, owned by Wynn Resorts. Josh's fun fact, when Wynn Las Vegas made its feature film debut in 2015 with the release of Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, which was shot throughout the resort. I mean, what a terrific film. It really painted Wynn in a great light.
I thought that was a fantastic fun fact.
It is fantastic, Josh, but not as fantastic as the number 16 seed. A little off there. Green Valley Ranch opened in 2001. It's owned by Station Casinos. Fun fact, in 2020, GVR renovated its presidential suite, which hadn't been rented out for nearly 10 years. The new suite is 2,750 square feet, or as Josh put, quite feet, and features a $20,000 Italian-made glass foosball table. The resort also turned its old wedding chapel into a 2,000 square foot guest suite. Rates for both suites start at $2,000 a night. They like that number too, Josh. So interesting fun fact. We'll start off with you, Adam, on this with the note that the public and the patrons voted for Wynn, surprisingly.
Yeah.
But let's get the Green Valley Ranch love going here.
Well, I mean, it was just completely shafted by
it was
the steering committee.
What would you have had as the number 16 seed? Are you going to say Tuscany?
Well, Josh, I'm not going to jump.
It's not far off.
I'm not jumping ahead here, but the next matchup features number 9 Circus.
Yeah.
So if you can somehow justify that, I'd like to know. But
it's not Adam, me. It's the selection committee.
Are we going to save Green Valley Ranch here and push them through?
I mean, Wynn's going to bulldoze a lot of people, a lot of resorts, and I feel bad. But I mean, GVR has a lot of good things to say for it. And I'll compare it to Red Rock. I mean, the only thing that I think really is a disservice that Red Rock and GVR do is I think if you're not in their system yet, the room prices are a bit steep for where they're located, like 200 plus per night, depending on the day that you're booking it. Now, once you're in there, you're playing there, you're getting offers, you're going to get rooms and stuff. But GVR is a gorgeous property, a great pool, great low limit gambling, and a really nice place. It's a shame that it got shafted as a 16 seed.
I agree.
it would have easily moved on to the next round had it been it would have been close up against almost any other property in this bracket.
Are you going with Wynn still though on this choice?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay, I needed to make it official
drama here,
so that when Chris is doing the graphics later on, when you say that, I can put it up on the screen next to you. Okay, so it's already moved on, but Josh, I'd love to hear you to at least defend yourself here.
What do you mean defend myself? It's a selection committee.
That's it. That's all you got to fall back on.
Had the selection committee known of Green Valley Ranch a little more, the selection committee might have seated them a bit higher.
Okay.
But, it is what it is. The selection committee is not perfect. Every year, some teams get left off. Some, have to play in. Green Valley Ranch played in, so there is 16. It's just the way it is. I will say that looking at their rooms, though, I was really impressed with some of like this presidential suite thing. That looks like it has fantastic views. The room looks out, has a great view. That $20,000 foosball table is really cool.
Yeah.
You break it, you buy it.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't imagine, playing at a $20,000 foosball table, but Paul Blart 2 wins me over on Wynn.
That's the deciding factor.
That was it, yeah. Which I actually have not seen Paul Blart 2.
I haven't either.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even know there was a Paul Blart 2 until you mentioned it one day. Okay, so Josh, you got Wynn as well. I'm unfortunately going to have to go with Wynn in this one as well. That being said, I really do like Green Valley Ranch. I've been there more than once. Josh, they even have real room service, which I know is really important to you. And so you're missing out on that. They have a beautiful high limit room. I used to play blackjack in a decent amount. Their rooms are great. I'd always get a room, but never actually stay in it because I was bouncing around town. But man, it's a nice place. I really do feel bad for them because like Adam said, if they were a 13 seed or higher, I think they would have won. But they just happened to grab a monster and win. So it's unfortunate for them. Maybe next year they'll get a better seed line, but I don't know. We'll have to see. But moving on.
Put the seeding committee out to pasture.
Wynn's going to play the winner of number 8 seed Mirage versus number 9 seed Circus Circus. Mirage opened back in 1989. It's owned by Vici Properties with Hard Rock holding the gaming license. Josh's fun fact, the success of the Mirage was massive. It began the casino boom and rebirth of Las Vegas with 13 mega resorts opening in the city over the following decade, plus numerous expansions and additions. Not only did Mirage shatter gaming revenue records, becoming the first property to reach $500 million in gaming revenue, but its non-gaming revenue exceeded $600 million over that same time period. They're going against number 9 seed Circus Circus, opened in 1968. It's owned by Phil Ruffin, same guy over at TI. Although thought of as a family-oriented property, the property originally featured female shoe shiners in revealing clothing. Original owner Jay Sarno had wanted the trapeze artist and shoe shiners to be topless, but that idea was vetoed by the Gaming Commission. Josh, that is a fun fact.
I thought so too.
I think you could still get that downtown Vegas somewhere. So.
I think you can,
especially on Fremont Street.
Like $8, that'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, kids, you go over there and play the carnival games. Daddy's got to get his shoe shined. I mean,
yeah, that's the ultimate euphemism. Hang on, I gotta get my shoe shined.
Exactly. Okay, so Josh, we got the public voting for Mirage, patrons voting for Mirage.
Shocking.
Imagine that. Adam, what do you got in this matchup?
I mean, what a close 8-9 seed, right? These are supposed to be
it couldn't be much closer. That's some good seating right there.
Yeah, Mirage takes it in virtually every facet. Now, I haven't stayed at Circus Circus. The one thing that Mirage lacks right now is their basic rooms. The bathrooms are really tiny. I mean, this is a holdover from when it was built. Yeah. And Wynn really wasn't focusing on bathrooms at that time. He certainly has with his later resorts. But Mirage hasn't lost a step either from the MGM takeover. I mean, they've really kept it going, had good offers going for players that are coming there. I've been really impressed about how well they've transitioned. You know, obviously, architecturally, people are going to be upset about what's happening next. People are kind of on the fence about the guitar and stuff. But, I mean, this is as easy as it gets as a pick for this bracket.
Are you a guitar and volcano person? Do you believe that both could coexist?
I mean, sure, that's fine if they want to, but I'm firmly in the guitar camp. I think it's awesome. It's
the renderings look fantastic.
It's just this big goofy thing that shouldn't exist, which means it's perfect for Las Vegas.
Perfect for Vegas,
right?
Yeah,
and as we know,
a bass next to it.
These things change in Vegas, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give Circus Circus a little love as someone that has stayed in the Circus Circus Manor Motor Lodge. on multiple occasions, the little dive thing behind what is the dive of Circus Circus, and who has taken, his kid to the Adventure Dome at Circus Circus multiple times. I think Circus Circus has, still continues to have a purpose in Vegas. Mm-hmm. I think there are people that love it. And while I wouldn't want to stay there, I think it's fun to walk through. I still like some of the theming that's still there and the carnival games and the stuff for kids to do. And only because this, what do we call it, matchup is already decided, I'm going to vote officially for Circus Circus.
So look at you. Wow.
Makes the seating committee look a little better. It's not a sweep.
Did that Vegas Pauly C check land in your box today or something? What's going on?
Couldn't give a vote to GVR, but we're going on a limb for Circus Circus.
Yeah, let's really go out on a limb here.
Yeah, you guys are really going to shake this win shill category. Yeah.
That's right. I do, hold on, Chris, before you go, I do love Mirage. I mean, I saw Siegfried and Roy there, way back when. It's still a very, you can tell it was a unique property when it was built, and it's still unique to Vegas when you go into Mirage and the rainforest and all that stuff. It's still cool, but I'm going to go with Circus Circus.
Yeah, I mean, I like Mirage. It's very iconic. The first thing I think of when I think Mirage is Vegas Vacation. I don't know why. That's just what pops in my mind. I just associate that property with that movie.
Yeah.
And I've liked it ever since then. It's a nice place. It's an okay place to play. I've stayed in their rooms and they're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. I saw Shin Lim over there once, the magician. Really liked him. I thought his show was good. Yeah, no problems there. Circus Circus, the only positive thing I can say is the steakhouse. That's it.
Yes.
I like their steakhouse. It's cheap. It's not a la carte like every other steakhouse in Vegas. You get a salad and you get a potato and a steak, and they pump in that wood chip smell the moment you hit the front door. So it really just knocks you over. That's great, but you unfortunately have to walk through Circus Circus to get to it. And that really does take away from the whole experience. So that being said, my vote's going to go to Mirage as well. Good for you, Josh, taking that money and running with it. That's great. Okay, this one, the seating committee. Oh my God.
No,
the seating committee continues.
Now, in the seating committee's defense, when the seating came out, when the brackets came out, Fontainebleau hadn't opened yet.
That's not actually what my issue is with this one, but
good defense.
Yeah. So the next matchup, we have number 5 seed Waldorf Astoria. We'll just pause there for a second and realize that Waldorf Astoria is a number 5 seed.
Number 5 seed, yes.
Going against number 12 seed Fontainebleau. Waldorf Astoria, it originally opened in 2009. It was the Mandarin Oriental. I think that's what most people actually think of when they think of that property. It's owned by Tiffany Lamb and the Churns, the same people that own Panda Express, Josh. Josh's fun fact, Waldorf Astoria provides the ultimate high tea experience in Las Vegas on the 23rd floor of the property, offering the city's only exclusive tea room with a view of the Las Vegas Strip. They're going against number 12 seed Fontainebleau, opened in 2023, owned by Fontainebleau Development. Carl Icahn bought the property, which was 70% complete and billions in debt, in bankruptcy in 2009 for just over $150 million. In 2010, he auctioned off furnishings for the resort, indicating that he had no intention of finishing the project. And in 2017, he sold the property for $650 million. The current owners bought the property in 2021 for $350 million. From start to finish, the Fontainebleau was developed at a cost of $3.7 billion. And Josh, I think we actually talked about this on a recent recording. I think most of those furnishings he auctioned off ended up at Plaza, if I remember correctly.
They did.
I think that's where all that furniture and wall paneling and everything actually went. That being said, the public and the patrons voted for Fontainebleau in a stunning upset. I mean, who would imagine a 12 over a 5?
Upset alert here.
So they are on alert right now, but I'm sure Adam's going to save them right now and get things heading the correct direction. Adam, who do you have between Waldorf Astoria and Fontainebleau?
Fontainebleau, is that the correct response? I mean, yes. Like, Waldorf, what are we talking about with Waldorf?
But they're a 12 seed though. I mean, they're really high seeded here.
At this point, I've taken the numbers off my bracket.
That's fair. That's fair. Right now. That's how one should do this.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Waldorf, the rooms are really nice. They have a modest pool. They're so uncreative with their branding. That beautiful bar. It's one of my favorite bars in the Strip, what they have there. They now just call it Hotel Bar, which is
oh, wow.
Creative. But Fontainebleau just has pretty much everything you'd want in a resort right now. Still fresh, you can probably still smell the paint going on it. Yeah, I think there's some imperfections there, but my goodness, all feedback right now is that it's the place to check out. And if you really want to gamble at Waldorf Astoria, you've got to go somewhere else.
Right.
So go to Fontainebleau.
Yeah, it's a strike against it.
I think the seating committee maybe overseeded Waldorf Astoria and the Four Seasons and underestimated that people want gambling in their Las Vegas casino properties. I think that's becoming clear for next year's seating, that gambling has to be taken higher into account than perhaps the star rating of a particular property.
Mm-hmm.
All that said.
We're getting some behind the curtain stuff. I thought they were just pulled out of a hat at this point.
No. Oh no, he puts thought into this.
Not me.
Yeah, not you.
So I echo what Adam said. I mean, Fontainebleau, having stayed there already, I was, as you guys know, we talked about it on the show, I was pretty impressed with, there were still some unfinished things for sure, but I was very impressed with the property, and so much so, well, because they offered me more free play than anybody ever has, I'm going to be going back the end of April, so I'll have a second try of the property, but very impressed with it. On the other hand, I have not stayed at the Waldorf Astoria, but everybody that stays there that I know of says the rooms are fantastic. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful property. It's just obviously not gambling. They've got what's the new restaurant that's taking over where that burger place was, right on the strip in front of Waldorf? Do you know what I'm talking about? There's something new coming in there.
I don't. Is it a Whataburger?
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, I think that might be what it is. So I don't know. That's something. That said,
hold on.
Yeah,
hold on. A chain fast food restaurant
I'm just,
at the front of the building.
That's not even owned by Waldorf.
Exactly. There's a CVS across the street, Josh. Do they get credit for that too? Yeah, you're the one that seeded the damn thing. So okay.
So that said, Fontainebleau. This is how the first round of the NCAA tournament is too.
Yeah. They're usually off by 11 or 12 seed lines every year. I mean, it happens.
It's not Duke playing against some high school team, and Duke is the number 16.
See, this is the 12. Exactly. There's always 12 versus 5 upsets.
Well,
so it's structured the way it really works. Right, exactly. So
I'll say two. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. I was just going with
the one thing about Fontainebleau too that I like is that they're doing something that Resorts World didn't and should have, which is they are really aggressive with their offers right now.
Yes.
I mean, they just have my email address and I'm getting offers for rooms and, free play or resort credit. And like, that's exactly what Mirage was doing. That's exactly what Resorts World should have been doing, especially when you're on an island like that. And they've been really aggressive, which is great to see.
Well, I gave them one day or not even a full day of pretty good play, but not what we usually play at Wynn or Sky Suites or Aria. And I got, as I said, the best offer I've ever had as far as free play and a suite. And so why not go back? And if the offers dry up, then I don't care. I'll give them good play, but that's what's taking me back for sure.
Well, I mean, you're definitely not shaking that reputation as a shill, Josh, when you talk about them giving you your highest amount.
Hey, I'm not going to lie.
But I'll tell you, I don't have the love for Fontainebleau that other people do. I've been there.
I don't vote for Waldorf?
I didn't say that.
Whataburger.
Yeah, I'm going for the Whataburger. I'm going off the board. It doesn't matter at this point. I just don't love Fontainebleau. I don't really love the appearance of it. I didn't have a great expectation of what it was going to be, and they didn't really exceed that. But dealers were okay. Josh, your info that you shared on your room, the photos I saw, I didn't really like it. I don't see myself staying there, and I'm glad you're getting really good offers, and that's awesome. I'm glad their marketing department is doing something to try to get people there, because quite frankly, I think it will be closed or sold within 3 years anyways. So I feel like you should get it in now while you still can, because it's not going to be there very long under this ownership.
Well, Plaza needs new furniture anyway. So
exactly. Plaza is going to need some sort of redo soon enough. So that being said, I'll give my vote to Fontainebleau for this round, but I think they're going to have troubles in their next matchup.
It's a tough spot. They're really in a tough location. I think I talked about this on the show, but they're geographically and kind of loyalty wise competing with Wynn directly, and that's a really tough position to be in.
But yet, Adam, that's what they're sticking that out. They're trying to compete with Wynn, so much so that Wynn's suing them, obviously, for poaching people, but they want to be Wynn, so more power to them, I guess, if it works.
Yeah, good luck with that. Okay, they're going to be playing the winner of the next match between number 4 seed Park MGM and number 13 seed the D. Park opened back in 96, originally as the Monte Carlo. It transitioned over to Park MGM in 2018. It's owned by Vici Properties, And Josh's fun fact, in 2009, Dragon Noodle Company and Sushi Bar, which operated at Monte Carlo and Park MGM from 96 to the opening of Italy in 2017, featured cocktail servers dressed as anime characters. Mostly the costumes are schoolgirl outfits from the well-known Sailor Moon series. And how do they go over with tourists? Quote, they look at us like we're kind of crazy, and then they take pictures with us, said one of the waitresses, who dressed in a shiny red maid outfit of a mutated cat girl from, quote, Tokyo Mew Mew. Well, so hold on. So you went to an anime convention this past weekend, and now you just want to share this with everybody?
I thought that
what
was
is going on.
So, Adam, I had a fun fact of Park MGM being non-smoking, and Chris said, that's just a boring fun fact. So here I found this fun fact just for Chris.
Yeah,
man, that was a ride.
It was something. They're going to be going against number 13 seed, the D. It opened in 1980. It's owned by my two least favorite people. And Josh's fun fact, in late 2013, the D became the first casino in the world to accept Bitcoin for hotel rooms, restaurants, and the gift shop items. Good for them.
I'm sure the 3 people that actually took advantage of that had a great time doing it.
Right.
Oh, for sure. The public voted for Park MGM. The patrons voted for Park MGM. So, Adam, take it away. Park MGM, the D.
I'm going to be honest, fellas. I'm a little bit tired of having to pretend like the D is a great place to gamble. And I'm pretty much going to be done doing it.
Did you pretend that once?
I didn't pretend it. I actually liked it when it first opened, but I think it was more because I saw the resurgence in downtown, which I liked at the time, and less so that it was the D. I mean, it doesn't do anything superbly.
Right.
And it's got to do something really well to be that loud. And it just doesn't do it for me. And so I'm just gambling in a place that's just really loud and not really doing anything for me at that point. And even now, it's kind of the middle child of the Stevens properties. Everything's focused on circuit. I feel like the D's just kind of getting lost in there. They don't have the best gambling downtown. There's multiple properties that have better odds and better limits. And I really like everything that's going on with Park. I haven't been shy about liking it, and I think the non-smoking thing is one of the primary reasons why.
Yeah.
Dealers could be better. There's a lot that could be improved at Park. I'm not even a huge fan of the rooms, even the Nomad ones, but I think if you look like pound for pound food-wise, I think it's one of the best resorts on the Strip in terms of what they offer there. So I'm firmly going to be with Park MGM on this one.
Josh?
Real quick before we move on, Adam, how do you feel about Golden Gate versus the D, just in general?
At this point, I'm not a huge fan of it anymore either, only because they got rid of the other craps table, and
it
hurts. Difficult to find. And so it's better than the D in terms of what they offer.
Right.
The rooms are like a broom closet. In fact, I think they all were at one point. Like, this will work. This is a janitorial service storage facility. Let's put some beds in there. And the same with the D. The D rooms aren't anything to write home about at all. They're super loud. They're not good at blocking noise. So yeah, I'm just not a big fan right now.
I understand. Okay. So yeah, as far as this matchup, it's pretty easy call to me too. I'm not as big a fan of the rooms. I actually like the rooms at Park better than I like the rooms at Nomad. I wasn't crazy about my room at Nomad, but I thought the Park room was great for what it was. Obviously not a fancy room, not Wynn level, that kind of thing, but really nice, serviceable. I love the location. Mm-hmm. I love the fact that if I stay at Park and I want to pick up Posh Burger or Moneyline Pizza from Aria, it's an easy walk through the passageway from one to the other. I agree. I'm not crazy about the casino floor. I do love the non-smoking part. So it's just, and it's, the eating options are kind of endless at Park and around there. It's a fantastic location. So my vote, easy.
And you can get right to your burger place at Waldorf that you love so much. So
exactly. Yeah.
Don't even.
That's what they're known for.
It is very close, right?
That's why most people book a room there, Josh, is they want to get to the burger place. Yeah.
To the Whataburger.
Yeah. I don't have the love for Park MGM that a lot of people do. I think they do some things well. The non-smoking is a huge thing that cannot be overstated. I think that is critical to part of their success. I really like Bavette's. I've always enjoyed eating there the few times that I've been there. I too find the rooms to be as boring and bland as humanly possible. I don't know who designed them. They did a terrible job. I loved Monte Carlo. It was one of my first places to have a real host. And I like the rooms. I like the layout of the property. I really don't like it as much now. I think they actually made it worse when they did the redo. And that's really hard to do. But that being said, everybody knows I do not like Derek Stevens. I don't particularly care for his properties at all. The D nowadays would be my least favorite Derek Stevens property. I'd even put Circa ahead of it, and I hate Circa. But that being said, yeah, I can't vote for them, so I have to give my vote to Park MGM here.
There we go.
Okay, so recapping the top half of the bracket here, in the next round, we're going to have Wynn facing off against Mirage, and Park MGM facing off against Fountain Blue. Anything exciting out of those matchups coming up?
I think the latter. I think that'll be an interesting one.
See, that's how the seating committee set it up. You're supposed to get more interesting.
You know, this is Chris and I time now.
Yeah, it all worked out in the end.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Once we get to the final four,
This is
see,
grown-up
guys?
talk here.
The cream rises to the crop.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're Green Valley Ranch, who had no chance.
Nobody wants
Okay.
green. Nobody wants green cream anyway.
Can we cut that? I don't even think that should be included.
No, cut that.
Okay. Next side. Okay, moving on to the other side of the bracket. We have the first matchup between the number 6 seed, the Link, going against number 11 seed, Westgate. The Link opened back in 59 as the Flamingo Capri. It became the Imperial Palace for a very long time. It became the Quad for a very short time. It's owned by Caesars Entertainment. The Link's fun fact: to reduce flash flood risk, a series of man-made tunnels were constructed in the late 70s near where Imperial Palace was to be built. To avoid added construction costs, the developers of the Imperial Palace, quote unquote, designed the first floor of the parking garage to function as a stormwater diversion channel. This solution was not a very good one. In 1983, an 8-foot wall of water gushed through the garage, sweeping away 10 cars and damaging more than 20 ground floor rooms in the casino floor. In 2004, 2 men had to be rescued by firefighters after their car stalled in floodwater behind the garage, the same spot where 6 more people had to be rescued in 2017. Yeah, it doesn't seem that they did the best job. And there is nothing I see more at certain times a year than videos of the Link garage flooding and everybody acting like the world's falling apart. Yeah, it is very iconic from that perspective, especially from a social media perspective. But the Link's going against number 11 seed Westgate, opened back in 69 as the International. It's owned by Westgate Resorts. Westgate is the home of Star Trek The Experience, which opened in 1998 and closed in 2008. Among other Star Trek celebrities, you had to give him a plug the next week. Among other Star Trek celebrities, Garrett Wang made an appearance shortly before closing. If you look closely, theming from Star Trek The Experience is still visible on the interior and exterior of the property. I'm sure Garrett's very proud to have been our last celebrity picker and then get mentioned in the next one for a completely separate reason. So surprisingly, in my eyes, and maybe I shouldn't say surprisingly, both the public and the patrons voted for the Link. Josh, I know you asked if you could go first on this one. So Adam, we're going to kick the can a second. Josh, what do you got?
Yeah, because I'm not going to pick the Link. I'm going to, build the suspense here. And I'm going to pick Westgate. I think that the Link, I have a lot of love for Imperial Palace. That's the first place I ever got comped in Vegas. I used to stay there all the time. The Hash House, a Go-Go. I knew the dealers, the dealer-tainers. Is that what they were way back then? Or the...
think so.
No, they weren't the dealer-tainers. What was it? Legends in Concert, maybe? Whatever it was.
Some stupid name. It's all the same.
I have a lot of love for the property. The slow elevators, everything about Imperial Palace, and still kind of there. But I think it's become... I'm not a big fan of the Link. I don't like the rooms. They're still the same size they were as Imperial Palace. I think it's putting a little bit of lipstick on the pig. I understand it for a low rolling place to stay, but their rooms are tiny. The elevators are still as slow, although I think they added a few. I don't like what they've done with the exterior of the property. I think that they just built some facades and it doesn't have a good, it just feels like they just added on a wing like a hospital would. Westgate, I'm not crazy about Westgate, the brand, but I think that property has so much Vegas history. And it's still, Barry Manilow at 80 years old or whatever he is, still going there.
Strong.
Strong is that.
Maybe not the best adjective there, but yeah, he's still there.
Even going might be strong.
It's going. And the Star Trek The Experience part, I've got to vote for it for that reason. It is cool, though, if you go and you look in their timeshare wing, you still see all the spacey stuff from Star Trek The Experience. And in their gift shop, you still see spacey stuff on the ceiling. And So they didn't try very hard to really mask the Star Trek The Experience thing. So Westgate is my vote.
I'll tell you what, Adam, before you go, I'll go as well. I hate the Link. I think it's one of the worst properties in Vegas. I would put it below Circus Circus. I'm well aware. I think maybe he's got some ties to it or something. No, I think they did a terrible job when they were trying to figure that out. And hence known by when it went to the Quad and then the Link, 2 years later. It's what does the Link mean? What is that? I don't even get it. The gaming floor is terrible. I hate their chips. I hate their dealers. I don't like the hotel at all. It's got the dumbest pool I've ever seen. I don't love Westgate, but I'll tell you what, Josh, it's probably been 15 years. But one time I had to go out to Vegas and my family came with me, and they have family suites there.
Mm-hmm.
And they sleep like 8 people, and it's got like a king bed, and then it's got bunk beds with a trundle and stuff. And we all slept in this one tiny room and made it worthwhile. And I remember looking at photos, like, either on paper or the website. I don't remember what year it was. And so maybe there wasn't internet then, who knows? I don't know.
Right.
But they had a Christmas suite, and I don't know if it still exists.
They still have it, yeah.
They still have it? Okay.
Yeah.
And it had Christmas trees and decor around 24/7. And it was just really awesome. And I always wanted to stay there, although I never have. I bet you I could get that suite now if I tried.
I bet you could, yeah.
But
maybe after this show.
It just seemed really cool. Westgate is iconic in my eyes. I don't want to really go there too often. They still have the Superbook, right? Sports book that everybody talks about. Link has nothing. They have the Promenade, I guess, but I think the Promenade's stupid too. So I'm giving my vote to Westgate as well. So we're tied 2-2. Adam, this one's all on you.
Yeah, I mean, I echo a lot of your sentiments. I don't really think they had an understanding of what they were doing with the Link in terms of theming. I mean, it looks like maybe futuristic theming with sometimes with the fonts and like the silver color scheme.
Yeah.
Like it just, but then you're right. The outside, it's like, oh, we're just going to paint this one blue and green, and this one's going to be other colors.
Yeah.
What the hell am I even looking at here? The pool is actually pretty good, and the rooms are inexpensive, but you're right. The rooms are small. And so for the same price, you can get much bigger rooms, even within the Caesars portfolio right next door. I do not hate the Promenade at all. I think it's okay for what it is. I mean, it's, it's Flamingo and Link. So it's, it's fine for that particular area, and it breaks up the space nicely. However, as you said, Westgate's just got a super cool history. Its location sucks, but it is on the monorail at least.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
And you can't go wrong with the Superbook. I mean, it's if you're a sports bettor and you want to put a bet down, it's like that's the one that you go to at least once. And Link, as you said, has nothing bringing people out to it. So I think we're going to override the public vote on this one because
there we go.
Westgate.
Nice. See, that was a
like
legitimate upset.
That was a true upset. Take that, public.
Yeah, screw you guys.
And screw all you people giving us money to be patrons. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So Westgate moves on. They're going to be playing the winner of number 3 seed Planet Hollywood against number 14 seed Four Queens. Planet Hollywood opened back in 2000 as the Aladdin. It's owned by Caesars Entertainment. Josh's fun fact, the Aladdin was the 5th and final resort in a strip building boom that started 2 years earlier with the opening of the Bellagio. However, the Aladdin was in financial trouble from the time it opened in 2000. Unlike existing large casino hotel rivals, the resort lacked the benefit of a hotel reservation network and a database of gamblers. Design issues were also blamed for the casino's poor revenue, as the main floor was built 9 feet above the strip's sidewalk level, a design change that occurred after workers struck a water table. They're going against number 14 seed Four Queens, opened in 1966. It's owned by TLC Casino Enterprises. Its largest suite is the Imperial Suite at 950 square feet. That's the largest one, huh?
Yes.
And boasts a living and dining area that include a leather couch that can fold out into a comfortable queen-size bed. I'm going to go on record and say, I bet you it's not comfortable. 2 55-inch HD flat-screen TVs, 2 wet bars, a microwave, 2 mini refrigerators. If you just give 2 of everything, it makes the room better.
In a 900 square foot room, what do you touch each fridge?
It comes with complimentary coffee and complimentary basic wireless internet.
I may have taken this fun fact directly from their website.
Off their website.
The website, which was built in 1998 on an AOL disc.
Oh, my. I will give them credit, though, Josh, because a lot of downtown properties, especially some of the older ones, their big screen TVs are like 30-inch.
That's
and they
true.
even
They're
tell you that's what it
55,
is.
right.
So at least they got some big TVs. Good for them. Wow, 950 square feet. They're really killing it. Okay, so amazingly, the public and patrons voted for Planet Hollywood. Adam, what do you got?
Yeah, shockingly, I'm going with Planet Hollywood on this.
Oh,
one.
wow. I mean, can't believe it.
I'll be nice and say that Four Queens has some charm. I guess good video poker. That's
you go.
for sure. But and here's the thing about Four Queens, like they at least know who they are. Like they're not
Right.
Sure.
They kind of lean into it a little bit, at least with social media. Like I said, their website is terrible.
It's bad. Yeah.
A web developer's nightmare looking at that thing, and it's gotten better in the last couple of years.
It's safe from ransomware people, though.
Yeah.
They wouldn't know how to get in to tech that
You're
old.
hacking. Yeah.
Right.
So it looks like a site I would have built on Dreamweaver in 1996. That's what it
On an
reminds
actual
me of.
Macintosh.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, Planet Hollywood is just cool, and it's been cool for so long. Like it's never
I agree.
really lost a step. I mean,
No.
there's been some comings and goings with certain amenities and certain restaurants and stuff in there, but it just continues to be cool. To me, I think it's one of the gems of Caesar's portfolio in terms
I
of just
agree.
how consistently good it's been, and it's stayed kind of at that same level limits wise. Like it knows exactly who it is, knows exactly what it wants to be, and it continues to kill it.
I agree. Josh?
I couldn't agree more. I really like Planet Hollywood. As I've said on the show, I've stayed at Planet Hollywood and at Paris recently, which I think are fairly similar properties in the Caesars chain. I think Planet Hollywood is just a fantastic place for kind of a mid-roll player to stay. I love the fact that the entrance level is a level down from the casino floor, so you're a little bit separate from that action as you come to check in. There's that Starbucks right there that has a great bypass for diamond people or above in Caesars. Lets you miss the line altogether.
Humble brag there. Yeah,
I know,
nice.
exactly. They've got an IV. They've got an IV station right there too. If you need to get your fluids, replenished after a hard night at the club. I like the Planet Hollywood rooms. They're not fantastic, but they're very serviceable. I think I like them better than the kind of similar level room at Paris for sure. I just think, and Chris and I obviously love the Strip House, the steak restaurant there. It's just so much good things about Planet Hollywood. The craps dealers are usually fantastic. Levels are usually pretty reasonable. Four Queens, I don't have much to say. I like the neon sign, the Four Queens neon sign. I appreciate that as kind of a, still old school Vegas neon. That's about it. Pretty easy call on my side.
Mm-hmm. If I was still a quarter, at most $50 blackjack player, that is the only place I would ever go in Vegas. It is the Planet Hollywood. It is the perfect. Yeah, Four Queens, Josh.
Well,
Queens.
Josh, they lock up the quarters at Four Queens. They only have the nickels out for people. No, Planet Hollywood is an amazing property. It is still one of my favorite properties in Vegas. It bugs me every day that I haven't been there in a couple years and haven't stayed there. Their ultra hip strip suite, I think is what it is. I used to stay in that thing all the time and loved that room. It made me feel like a high roller before I even was anywhere remotely near a high roller. I think they have the best gaming floor, like vibe wise and activity wise on the strip. I mean, it is just always so lively, whether it's 8 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night. It's always a fun place to be. The music I enjoy, but I can tell you I've kind of outgrown it age-wise. I'm not the target demo anymore there, and that's okay.
At night, especially, right.
Especially at night, but I mean, they have their own, dancers up on the poles still, the pleasure pit.
The pleasure pit.
They have a good high-limit room if you want to play some blackjack with some decent rules. You're right, their craps dealers are terrific. Good food options there if you're hungry. I just love the place. I could have seated it even higher than third, but they're definitely getting my vote and moving on to the next round.
And it's fun to look down. You can look down on the casino floor from that second level, and that's also kind of fun to do.
Well, and they used to have that Diamond Lounge up there. I think it's closed at this point, last I heard.
Most of Caesars are.
I was going to say, I think all those Laurel Lounges, whatever they want to call them now, closed. But yeah, they used to have that lounge up on the second floor, so you could take the escalator up and go hit the lounge.
And Chris Angel's still there, I think.
Oh, God. He's the worst part about the property.
Oh, is he?
But
wasn't he there before, or am I mixed up?
Oh, he was, yeah.
Okay.
The only thing I will say is a negative. I still hate that they got rid of the Spice Market buffet.
Oh, yeah.
It was my favorite buffet in Vegas.
Good. Yeah.
And, it was so cool riding the escalator down to go into there. It was a good space.
I love that place.
I wish they would bring that back. I understand why they got rid of it, but that's my only knock against them.
And the Nestle cookie place from the Miracle Mile shops.
Yes, that closed. I can't blame them because that's not on them.
That's true. Yeah.
But there was a Toll House cookie store in the Miracle Mile shops that I found out just randomly one day that Josh used to go there a lot too. And I definitely used to go there a lot. So I was very sad to see that they closed, but fair enough. Okay. So last two matchups of the day. We start off, we got number 7 Treasure Island going against number 10 Golden Nugget. Treasure Island was opened in 93 by Phil Ruffin as the current owner. Treasure Island opened to the public on October 26th of 93. Steve Wynn's other strip resort, the Shuttered Dunes, was imploded the following night in a big ceremony, which incorporated the Treasure Island Pirate Show. One of the ships fired its cannons as the implosion began, simulating the resort's destruction by cannonballs. That is pretty cool. I like that.
Neat.
Number 10 Golden Nugget opened in 1946. It's owned by Landry's. Steve Wynn, again, became the majority shareholder of the Golden Nugget in 73. In 77, he opened the first hotel tower, and the resort earned its first 4-diamond rating. It was the foundation for Wynn's rise to prominence in the casino industry. So we can thank the Golden Nugget for all the good things that came in the future. This one's going to be interesting, Adam. The public voted for Golden Nugget.
Thank you.
The patrons voted for Treasure. Wow, you got one matchup correct. Congratulations. The patrons voted for Treasure Island. So we're all tied up 1-1. Adam, what do you got?
Yeah, this one actually is pretty tough. I mean, Golden Nugget has been very consistent downtown. If the things we say about Planet Hollywood could probably apply to Golden Nugget. I'm less enthused about the restaurants there. They're all kind of chains and don't really excite me too much. But I do think sometimes Golden Nugget is overlooked downtown in terms of what they actually offer on the gaming floor, because they have been consistently good. If you follow John Mahaffey of Vegas Advantage, he's frequently covering how good the actual games are. You could say the exact same thing about Treasure Island, though, too. It's continues to lose a bit of its identity in terms of, the show outside and the de-theming inside, but has been consistently good on the strip. In fact, probably the best, no offense, Paulie C and his love for Fontainebleau, probably the consistently best property for gambling on the strip in terms of offering for, mid to low level players a fair game. I also less enthused about the restaurant options there, but because of its location, I'm going to give Treasure Island the vote on this one, I think.
Okay. Josh?
This is a really hard one for me, too. And in fact, I, up until just a minute or two ago, really hadn't decided for sure which way I was going to go. I've never stayed at either property. I've been in them and gambled at both, but I've never stayed at either property. I think if I were to stay downtown, or maybe when I do stay downtown, I might well stay at Golden Nugget as the first place I stay downtown. It would probably either be that or Circa, but I'm less inclined to want to stay at Circa. So I think Golden Nugget. I mean, the rooms still are, obviously they're not Wynn, they're not Bellagio, they're not the other Steve Wynn properties, but they still have some of the elements that Steve Wynn carried through as he matured as a casino owner and developer. It is a beautiful property in downtown. And Treasure Island, I mean, I agree, Adam, it's again a Steve Wynn property, so it has some of that, some of those design elements and things like that, but it's lost a lot. Yes, it has the gaming still going for it, but I liked the pirate show. I missed, Nothing in Vegas Days, as we talked about, but I missed that. And now it's just kind of still a good place to go and low roll a little bit, but I don't think it has a lot of other appeal to it. So I think I'm going to go Golden Nugget. And I think that makes it 2-2 to Chris.
Thank you. That's just what I had. A lot of opinion on this one. I think that anybody that's ever listened to our shows before knows how much I talk up Treasure Island. I love that property. I think that it is by far the best place on the strip, especially for low rollers, to go gamble, because you can always find a $10 game. I think their stadium games are $1, if I remember correctly. And I think it's even 3-2 on the blackjack at $1. I may be wrong completely, but it doesn't matter. But Treasure Island is just a great place to play. It really is. Their dealers are good. The people are nice. Josh, their high limit room, you can get in there for $25 some days. At worst, it's $50. They have great drink service. They don't give you little crappy waters, Josh. They give you the full big Fiji water bottles, like the massive ones.
Which we can't get at Venetian, right?
No, best blackjack rules on the strip by far at low pricing to get into it. Their rooms are clean. They're not exciting, but they're clean. And they've always run the promotions where you can waive resort fees if you want to, if you don't need the Wi-Fi and stuff. So all these properties, nickel diming, they're still giving people an out to get away from that. And the food there's fine. Their coffee shop has some pretty good food. Their buffet's fine. Eating at both. They were both, completely tolerable. Golden Nugget, I think it's the classiest downtown property from my perspective. It's a place that I wouldn't feel like dirty staying at. And most places downtown I would. The only thing I will say, Josh, is a knock against them is, yes, people like their gambling, but their crap starts at 15 from what I understand. And it's 3, 4, 5 times odds.
You're not getting
and
the
you
off
should
strip.
not be a downtown property offering 3, 4, 5. I know Circa does too. I think that's stupid as well.
Right.
All downtown properties should be 10 or 20 times. That's what they really need to do to get people down there. I mean, it's not as bad as places like the Cow offering 2 times. But yeah, I don't think that belongs downtown. It's a close one, but for me, I give this one to Treasure Island. I think they deserve to move on. Okay, moving on to the final matchup of the day. We have number 2, Cosmopolitan, going off against number 15, Tuscany. Cosmo opened back in 2010. It's owned by Blackstone Group and many others. Josh's fun fact, a signature feature on the casino floor is the 3-story chandelier, which includes 2 million crystals hung from the ceiling. The idea of the design was to have a central vertical focus and the idea to imagine what it would be like to be inside and outside the chandelier simultaneously. They're going also... I almost can't get through this because I looked down on the page. They're going off against number 15 Tuscany, who opened back in 2001. It's owned by CMH Real Estate Development.
I love my fun fact.
Josh's fun fact. Some guest rooms have views of the Sphere and Encore.
Oh.
Period. That's it.
That is
So, you know, I mean, wow.
and a gas station.
That's right.
Exactly. Some hotel rooms have a door and a window. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, yeah, they're very nice. Yeah, so the public and the patrons voted for Cosmo. Josh, I'll build suspense and go to you first because I'm sure you're going to throw this into a whole tizzy.
Well, I think since my fun fact, if the view of the Sphere and Encore wasn't enough for you, how about this?
Mm-hmm. Go.
Meet me at the Tuscany for good luck and good times. There's no other place to play.
This is Brittany.
Tuscany Suites Casino. I love it night and day.
Sounds more like Dolly.
The slots are loose. Locals got the vibe. The party's on Flamingo, just west of Paradise.
This is 8 minutes.
They don't give you the directions. It's so famous.
Oh my!
Did that,
We
did
even
that
have
sway
views
anybody?
of Encore. Okay, yeah. Well, that definitely swayed me. Like,
mean-
let's go ahead and give my vote to Tuscany right
I
now.
was looking for anything I could find to kind of pump Tuscany up. It's a great location in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
It's got that going for
That's
it.
true.
A lot of people are down on Cosmo because of the transition to MGM, assuming it ever goes all the way through. I mean, I think true Cosmo fans that were fans before MGM loved it, what it was, and hopefully most of that continues with the rest of the transition. I was never a big Cosmo fan before, so as we've talked about, I'm looking forward to it because I want to get comp rooms there and that kind of thing. I'm not going to pretend that I've got any love for Tuscany. So
We appreciate it.
Let me add some
so
color to this then, because I
Go
think
ahead, Adam.
on paper this looks bad, but in terms of if we measure this by resorts who know their customer and serve them well, I actually think this is much closer. I mean, we're laughing and I'm laughing
right.
because it's going to be Cosmo, but Tuscany does do a good job of treating their customers really, really well. Like for instance, like Mondays, it's like 20 times points days. There's like instances like
right.
I'll see vloggers, like they can't stop getting free play from the casino. It's like they want to leave. They're like, oh, they just gave me another $20, so I got to run it through the machine again. And so I think in that essence, like Tuscany, if you're super low roller, like, yeah, get off the strip. It's actually not that far and go play some slots or do whatever. Cause you're going to get treated really well there in terms of like offers and
Right.
even on the spot free play. That being said, I mean, Cosmo is Cosmo. I do think though, beyond Fontainebleau, I think Cosmo has the most to lose right now in Las Vegas. It's got a lot to prove in this transition, and its rooms are really starting to show some wear. And the only thing saving their rooms right now for me is the view, pretty much anywhere you look. So
Tuscany
I'm
too.
going with, yeah, of course.
Views of Sphere and Encore.
It's the Cosmo view, Tuscany view, and then GVR. And I think that's
Yeah.
it. I love Cosmo. I love their rooms. It's one of those places where the vibe, it's not me. I don't ever feel like I belong there, but I still
Same.
like being there. It's
Same.
kind of a weird thing to say. But yeah, I mean, it's a super sexy place to play.
It does make me want to get a $50,000 watch though. When I'm at
Yeah.
Cosmo, I have a desire for, some really fancy Audemars Piguet watch or whatever.
Yeah, I see guys walking around like, oh, I should be in the NBA. I
Right.
think I'd fit in better here.
Yeah, no, that's 100% true. I will say, beyond anything else, Cosmo is the best place in Vegas for people watching. If you
Yes.
go there in the summer, You can just sit down at any slot machine or any little chair, and the people that walk between the pool to their hotel tower is the nicest thing that you will see for the whole year. I don't fit in there at all. I think I'm too old to be there now. The vibe has it's surpassed me. It's too young for me now. But you're right. I love being at Cosmo. It makes me feel like I'm younger and more successful than I am. And I mean, credit to them, Josh, for doing something like that, because I can't think of another property that really inspires that kind of feelings within me when I'm in their space. It's a great place to play. I used to love their blackjack high limit room. Terrific dealers. I mean, just an awesome experience. Their wait staff was amazing. They have top shelf liqueurs that they'll get you if you need anything. I mean, their hotel is beyond reproach. I mean, those rooms are terrific. They're big. They have amazing views. The balconies, there's nothing like it in Vegas. It's terrific. And my favorite part about Cosmo is the food. I think they have a better mix of restaurants than anybody, and it's not even close. And I mean, like the Henry, if you want some early brunch or egg slut or milk bar or Scarpetta or STK, or I mean, there's just so many places you can go, and that's not even counting all the stuff in the food court where you can go get Hattie B's if you want some hot chicken real quick, or what is it? District Donuts is there, and they got a sushi place, and the burger, Lardo or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, so many places to get amazing food. That's the burger place, but there's another one in the food court. Well, I think Holstein's is the
Holstein's what I meant.
It's the sit down place, but I think they have a faster place in the thing. Anyways, doesn't matter. Amazing food across the board. Tuscany, I can't tell you one thing about it. I've been there one time. I remember nothing, and so they're definitely not getting my vote. Cosmo gets it, and that's going to wrap up this side of the bracket. So just to recap the bottom half of the bracket, moving on to the second round, we're going to have Westgate against Planet Hollywood, and we're going to have Treasure Island against Cosmo. I don't see any big surprises happening there, but you never know how the public's going to vote.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm trying to think of whether or not Westgate could pull an upset over Planet Hollywood. I doubt it, but.
Well, just for kicks, Tuscany, the 15 seed versus GVR, the 16 seed.
But that's not how it works.
Well, let's make it work that way, because pretty much the rules didn't matter before anyway.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, I think
what do you
GVR
think of that
would clearly go through there.
Yeah, I mean, we're going with GVR on that one, despite the fact that you need binoculars to see the sphere, but I think it overcomes.
It's got views.
Yeah.
So overall, Adam, any thoughts on the bracket now that it's all come together? Any overarching themes that you noticed?
No, actually, I think one of the interesting things is we didn't really, talk about like geography or anything like that so much. And we, I think from this conversation and the other ones, a lot of it is like, does it pass the vibe check? And like the ones that really just, it's like the intangible things. Like you just feel good while you're in there. We said that with like Cosmo and Planet Hollywood. Wynn's actually another one too, where it's like you could critique a lot about some of the gambling there in terms of what it's offering value-wise. But like vibe-wise, it's like, oh yeah, this feels compelling. This feels really neat. Like there's something going on here that's special. So I like hearing people's takes on some of those things.
No, I think you're right on that. I mean, Wynn's the only place I can think of. You're going to pay $100 to play blackjack just to get 3-2 and hit on 17. And people do it willingly all day and think nothing of it. So same thing with craps. You're going to play $50, $50 to get on a craps table anytime for the same game you can get anywhere else for 15 or 25, but it's just a different experience at Wynn. So Adam, why don't you tell people how they can get a hold of you, where they can find you, or if you don't want them to find you, just tell them something different?
Usually in some vloggers' mentions at some point is where you can find me.
Seems to be true.
Listen, I've been a good boy in 2024. I've hit the brakes a bit. But you can find me at Bauer Power Hour on Twitter. Cheapskatevegas.com is where I occasionally write some things down. I still have to write my Cosmo review from when I went to Vegas and saw you guys, which is like
it was a long time
I think
ago.
Cosmo, this is second year. It just got built. So, yeah.
Well, we'll definitely put a link to everything that you got on the video version and in the podcast notes on our main feed. Everybody else, make sure you check out crapvegas.com/brackets for more information on the challenge, or to see the full video versions of this episode, visit our Patreon page. That's patreon.com/crapvegas. Adam, thank you so much for your time. It is currently 9:51 Eastern time. And anybody that knows me knows I should have been asleep 51 minutes ago because I'm an old man. So this is a late one, but we'll have this out to you guys shortly, and we really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Adam. We appreciate
it. Thank you, guys. That was a lot of fun.
Vegas, here we come.
Thanks for listening to the Crap Vegas podcast.
Have you ever been to Vegas?
Check out all our recent news and our Vegas trip calendar by visiting crapvegas.com.
See you in Vegas.
We hope you enjoyed this week's CV Bracket Challenge voting. For an exclusive video version of this episode and access to all later rounds of voting, please join us on Patreon at patreon.com/crapvegas. Thanks for listening.